Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great morning. Okay, so we just got back from the gym. I threw a hat on so you didn't have to look at my beautiful gym face. But I was reading a book, and of course, I love to read. If you don't read when you get up in the morning or listen to something, you should start. So I'm finishing up The Atomic Habits. I've listened to it, but I'm actually reading the book. So I was reading this. There's just something different about having a book in your hands. Like, I listen to stuff all day long. If I love it enough, I buy it. So this is one that I had to buy so I can go back and look at it. But how is your morning? Where are you tuning in from? So I have a list of questions that I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live. Let me tell you this. I feel like I checked out all week for Easter. Not checked out as like not eating right or I still went to the gym, but just really tried staying present with our family. So we went back to Minnesota for Easter and we were with grandmas and grandpas and aunts and everybody and cousins, right? And so I was like, man, which I think it's always okay, right? Take a little bit of a, still posting, but I feel like I took a little bit of a break. So we're back. And how did you do for Easter? How did everybody do? Did you just let go of everything and do whatever you wanted to do? So I've asked in the last couple posts, what questions do you have so that we can cover them in an upcoming live? I've been meaning to do the Facebook Live the last few nights. We've been traveling. Yesterday we didn't get home till really late. So these are going to be so far the questions we are going to cover on the Facebook Live tonight. I'm pretty sure I'll do it tonight. I will. It might be a little bit later. And we're going to talk about, again, talking about tracking food. A lot of people are like, so if you have questions, post them in the comments because I will get to them tonight. We're going to talk about tracking restaurant options or food, restaurant food options, snacks. People are still a little don't quite understand net carbs, so I'm going to show you a visual on that. Sugar replacements, fat loss versus weight loss, and we're going to talk about boredom. And actually, that's what we're going to talk about right now. Where are you tuning in from? Did you go to the gym? I went to the gym and made my muscles bigger. Okay, so this is what I'm reading, and it's really quick. So it talks about how to stay focused when you get bored. And I will tell you, I get this question so often. Oh, I'm bored of the food. I'm bored of my routine. Like, do you want to know something? It's in that moment when you're bored. Are you going to keep going or are you just going to go, Because here's the deal. We live in such a fast-paced society. I want what I want right now. I'm bored. I want something different. Like, I see it in my kids, right? Like my 5-year-old, I swear that word comes out of her mouth all the time. And I'm like, good, you need to be bored because that helps you use your imagination. I don't need to occupy you all the time. Like, it's okay to be bored. What are you going to do in that boredom, right? And so in this book, he talks about how his baseball career ended. He went to the gym. He ran into an elite coach at the gym, and he said, hey, they were chatting back and forth. He introduced himself, and this is what the man said to him. Well, he asked this. He said, what's the difference between the best athletes and everyone else? What's the difference between somebody that you might watch on social media or somebody that's attaining their goals and maybe you, right? Not that you're not attaining your goals, but oftentimes people will compare themselves to other people. So what is the difference between somebody that's going after their goals? They're doing it every single day, no matter what. They get up in the morning, they make the right choices, regardless if it's a holiday, regardless if it's a birthday, regardless of how they feel. What's the difference between an athlete and everybody else? And so this is what the man said. He said, what do really successful people do that most people don't do? He mentioned the factors that you might expect. There's genetics, there's luck, there's talent, but then he said something that was unexpected. At some point, it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, doing the same lifts over and over again, right? Making the same choices on their food over and over again. He said, people talk about getting amped up to go work out. I've got to get amped up before I get my goals. I've got to get in the right mindset, which I think is important. Whether it's business or sports, art, you hear people say it like this: it all comes down to passion, or you have to really want it. As a result, many of us get depressed when we lose focus, when we're not motivated, maybe we have a bad day, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's that time of the month, right? Excuse me. So, but this coach was saying that really successful people feel the same lack of motivation, right? They have the same days as you do. They've got the same feelings, maybe emotions or kids throwing a fit. The difference is they still find a way to show up despite how they feel and despite boredom. I thought that was really good. So mastery requires practice. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter the day. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. Like if you have goals, and they don't have to be these crazy lofty, I'm gonna go compete in a bodybuilding competition. It's the same thing, right? Like your goal is fat loss. Your goal is to have more energy. Your goal is to save more money. Your goal is to go to the gym 5 times a week. Your goal is to get a different job. I don't care what it is, right? You've got to do the same things, the mundane things every single day to get to where you want to go. I really hear this a lot, the boredom. I hear the boredom a lot around food. We're going to talk about that tonight in the Facebook Live, but this is what I would tell you. In those moments of boredom, that's when the people that you see, that you want to model after, the people that you see hitting their goals, the people that you see reaching their full potential, it's because they do the same things over and over again. They practice that guitar, the same song over and over again, even though they don't want to, right? They get up and they swim those laps, even though they don't want to, because they've got certain goals. They get up early before their kids are awake to go to the gym, even when they're tired and they don't want to, because they see the longer term, the longer picture, right? Sometimes you might feel motivated and inspired. Sometimes you'll listen to a song, you'll get up and you'll feel like, yes, I'm gonna take on today. And the next day, you may just wanna snuggle in bed and not do it. So anyways, good book, talk about it a lot. What do you do in those little teeny tiny bits of boredom? Do you keep going? Do you get bored? I mean, with that boredom, or do you just kind of go, I'll wait till tomorrow? What do you do? So that's all I wanted to share, and tune in tonight. It'll probably be, I think we've got a Zoom tonight for our team. I might have to do it a little bit earlier. I feel like I've got a busy day. Probably 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern is what I'm thinking. So just be watching. Obviously you can watch the replay. They all stay here all the time, but I'd love to know I feel like it's a Monday and what is today? Wednesday? That's what happens when you homeschool and you work from home. So I appreciate you all. Have a great day. Tune in tonight and let me know what questions you have. Post the questions below. Tag a friend that you know needs to hear some of those topics we covered that we will be talking tonight. And that's it. Okay, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.